welcome to a special Valentine's Day edition of Center Stage Sweets. Today we are taking a classic Valentine's Day dessert, a chocolate covered strawberry, and making it a little extra special to go with our musical inspiration today, which is Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So we're gonna make chocolate covered enchanted rose strawberries. And I know that probably sounds a little weird, but I'll show you how we're gonna get into it in just a minute. For those of you that aren't familiar with the show, it's based off the classic Disney cartoon Beauty and the Beast, and it was Disney's first Disney on Broadway production, which of course led to countless other shows that they've done over the years. It was actually the third show I ever saw on Broadway. It still holds a very special place in my heart. So to get started on these absolutely delicious little desserts, I have in my double boiler over here 8 ounces of dark chocolate, and it's about 60% cocoa. I kind of splurged for the baking chocolate versus the chocolate chips because it melts nice and smooth and a little bit thinner. The chocolate chips sometimes can get a little bit clumpy, so I highly suggest splurge on these. It's Valentine's Day. Make your little Valentine something special. So while that melts, I'm going to show you how to turn our sweet little strawberries into roses. But before you start cutting them, make sure that you've washed them. I've got about a pint of strawberries here. Wash them and dry them really well. You don't want any extra water on those strawberries, otherwise the chocolate's not going to stick properly. And then I just put them in a bowl with a little extra paper towel just to help absorb any little bit of moisture that was still on there. So the first thing you want to do is just pull back the leaves. You want to leave them on because they'll look like the leaves on a flower, but just pull them back so you don't cut them. And with a paring knife, you're just going to make a small little slice, just a couple like millimeters or so, and then kind of pull it back so it looks like a petal. And then when you go to the next one, make sure you kind of overlap where the previous one started. And then you're just going to keep going like that all the way around, and then up as you go through the berry. And it makes these really pretty petal shapes, and it'll catch more chocolate too. So you'll get more chocolate than you would with a regular chocolate covered strawberry, which is always a good thing, right? All right, you see that, how it's got some nice petals going? And if you feel like they're not coming out enough, just use your knife to kind of push them back out, but just be careful because you are working with a knife, and I suggest a very sharp paring knife for this. Next, we're gonna take a little skewer and we're just gonna stick it into the bottom of our strawberry. And then you'll see sometimes when you push it, as you're pushing the skewer in, as you hold the strawberry, it pushes some of your petals back in. So just, take the time to go back and pull the petals out just a little bit more. And then it's ready to go in the chocolate. So just dip it in gently. And then I like to also use my tiny little spatula to help coat the bottom of it, just because sometimes it doesn't get in all the way and you want to make sure you get lots of chocolate on there. And then just kind of let it hang upside down, give it a little shake to get rid of the excess chocolate on there. Takes a few shakes. And then once you think you've gotten enough of that excess off, just flip it up, and then we're gonna put it into a glass just to rest. And as I keep going, I'm gonna put more of the roses in these glasses. I would suggest, depending on how your glass balances, if you put one this direction, have the next one facing this one, and so on and so forth until the glass fills, and then we're gonna pop them in the freezer. So I'm just gonna keep going and keep making the roses. This next part is completely optional, but for some of them, I have this great red sugar, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top, just for a little extra color and crunch. I'm not gonna do it on all of them, and that way when we make a little bouquet of these flowers later, some will have the sugar and some won't, and it'll be a nice little color contrast. And you wanna wait to do that sugar until they've been out and sitting for just a few minutes, just because if you do it right when they come out of getting dipped, the sugar will actually absorb and you'll lose that red color. You'll still get the crunch of having it there, but you'll lose the visual of it.
Yeah.
So to help these harden, I'm actually gonna stick them in my freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then they can go in the fridge. It's just in my fridge, I don't have the height to put them in, but my freezer I do. If you put them in the fridge, probably put them in for about 30 minutes. Our first batch of roses has come out of the freezer. We have some more in there cooling right now, but you can see they've hardened nicely. There's a beautiful shell on all of these roses. So now we're gonna do an extra little step that is totally optional, but I have some green floral tape. It's the kind of thing that you see at the bottom of like boutonnieres. And we're just gonna cover these plain old skewers in a little floral tape to make them look like long green stems. If you have green paint and you wanna use that too, that's great. Just make sure you don't get any paint on the roses. So just to show you how it works, we are going to start at the top, stick the tape on, and just kind of roll it down the stem of the skewer. And we'll just keep going. Squeeze it tight to itself, and then pop it in a vase, and voila, a little rose. And I'm just gonna keep going on the rest of them till we fill up our bouquet. And there you have it, all of these beautiful chocolate covered enchanted roses made out of strawberries. An absolutely delicious way to honor Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Center Stage Sweets, and be sure to visit us at centerstagesweets.com for more recipes and tips. See you next time.